All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Ask Me Anything of 2022. We're going to wait a little bit for a couple of people to join. First and foremost, Happy New Year to everyone from the whole CryptoPick team. 2021 has been a crazy year where a lot of things happened. We did some big changes and we are working on some crazy stuff, and I cannot wait to share it with all of you. Thank you for everyone who submitted their questions. Little reminder that if you're watching this live, you can simply go to the link that you will find in the description of the live stream, or go to bit.ly/ama and then a little line giveaway. We can also post that in the chats. What we will do, it's a good idea. Here you go. Hello there, Parta Pal. I guess that's Pal Parta in CryptoPick. Hello there, Cash Bogus. Don't forget to join the giveaway. You will get 100 Pickies for joining the giveaway if you're here live, and we will do an NFT raffle at the end of the Ask Me Anything. All right. All right, I think we should be good to go. All right, what are we gonna look at? So we will look at what we have achieved, the future we are working on, and then we will go through all the questions that you have submitted. First, let's dive into what we have achieved over the past month. So December was pretty busy, but of course it's also a month where there are holidays and everything. So that took also some time for the team to enjoy some family time. So the first thing is that we released the combo multiplier, which means that if you do a positive trade, you will get a combo multiplier, and if you do another positive trade after that, you get the higher multiplier, and you can do up to 10 positive trades in a row and get a really high multiplier. This is a way to reward people that manage to do a lot of positive trades in a row during the games. Then we continued developing the whole Picky Cup concept. So every week we intend to organize a big Picky Cup, the Picky Cup being a live event that is live streamed to develop our esports scene so that people can participate and join a huge battle against everyone else. Most of the time it's the best players, but also the new players who want to show their skills, and everyone else that participates. And there are a lot of pickies to be won here if you manage to get into the top 10. There are NFTs to be won here. The NFTs will grow over time because we have put ourselves the challenge that if we manage to get a certain amount of players in those Picky Cups, we will add a legendary NFT or epic NFTs or rare NFTs into the prize pool. The legendary NFTs are currently worth about $100. So if next Picky Cup we manage to get about 75 people, that can get really exciting. But in general, it's something we gonna keep doing over the weeks, every week. And the time at which it happens will vary so that it's available for everyone. But yeah, we are super happy about the results. We see that you guys are super excited about it, and we cannot wait for the next one, which will be this Friday, and the exact time that will be announced pretty soon. Hello there, Majid. Hello, building. Then we also introduced the concept of having a maximum amount of trades in the Picky Cup, which means that when you play a game of 5 minutes, you can only do like 15 trades or 10 trades or even 5 trades. We even did a game where you could only do 1 trade. And the whole objective of this is to make the games a bit more strategical, and that it's a bit more complex, that you really need to think about, will I close my trade or will I keep it open because I don't have any trades left after this, and so on and so on. For now, we've only implemented it in the Picky Cup, but in the future, we might also implement it in the duels or other games. Then we also did the development to integrate MetaMask, because before that you could only connect your wallet with Venly. Venly is super good and works perfectly fine, but most people, of course, already have a MetaMask. So we wanted to facilitate the job for people who already have a MetaMask, that they can simply link their MetaMask with their CryptoPick account, so that when you have to mint an NFT, you can simply do it this way. Then we also organized the NFT Christmas hunt, like last year. More than 900 NFTs were to be won by participating. We had more than 1,000 participants, and it was a lot of fun, like last year. So thank you to everyone who participated and won some NFTs by doing so. Then we also released our first game in Sandbox. I will explain a little bit of that in the next slide. But basically, we developed a game in the Sandbox. We applied with Game Jam. We released the teaser of the game last week, so you can find all that on our social media. But it's something pretty exciting we've been working on. All right, so that's what we have done. What is the future we are working on? That's what it's all about. That's what is interesting for you guys and girls. So let's dive right into it. So we are becoming a game studio. So this is super important to understand. Over the past, we have developed several games, and we always try to get those games into one big game. But it had its challenges, because not all games are the same or work the same way. It's hard to find the perfect way to give pickies as a reward in one game, but then also in the other game. And just in general, it makes way more sense that we build several games, and that we are just a game studio building several games. Yeah. So it means that the game that is now the main game that all of you are playing, or most of you, is the main game that we are developing right now. But we are also developing a game on Sandbox, but we will develop other games on your browser. Maybe the old games will come back as a separate game and things like that. What is important for us is that all the games that we develop, we want to add a learning aspect to them, because it's already cool that you can earn something by playing a game, because yeah, you get something in exchange for the time that you put into a game. But we also want people to learn something on top of that by playing our games. And yeah, today in the games, people can learn about the markets, the volatility, how trading works, shorting and going long, and without taking any risk, and actually win their first crypto, win their first NFT by playing our game. And that's something super cool, and we want to keep on doing that. Our game in the Sandbox, for example, introduces you to Sandbox, how you need to move and get really good at movement in Sandbox, how you need to do questing, how you need to do battles against monsters. The goal is really that our platform and all the games that we develop are something, are a game where people learn something. So that's the big picture. But we also want to create games where there's a lot of esports scene around them, around the games. So a lot of competitiveness. That's also something we think is really important. We've seen the Picky Cup, how people love it. We know that esports has been super big over the past years for every game. So we really plan on building a big esports scene around our games. And last but not least is also the fact that our NFTs and our pickies will not only be used in the game that you guys know today, but they will be used over all the games that we build. So the more games we build and the more players join our games, the more utility and demand comes for our NFTs, but also the pickies, the token. And we think this is really important to make sure that the token economics, but just the economy of our games, stays sustainable over time. Because if we would create an NFT or a token for every separate game, it would just not make sense for us. So that's really important for us, is that everything is cross game. So you will be able to use our NFTs in our Sandbox game. You will be able to win an NFT playing our Sandbox game that you can use in the current main game, and things like that. Yeah, and then after becoming a game studio, being one of the big things we are working on, now let's get back to the main game that most of you are playing right now. We will be releasing tonight, so tomorrow it will be live for the first time, the daily quests. So it's something that we've been talking about for a while now, and it's something that is super important for everyone who plays the game. Also, the people that don't want to play the whole the whole day, but just want to play a couple of minutes per day, they can simply come log in, do their daily quest, get their pickies, and potentially win an NFT, and then just stop playing and come back the day after. So I will do a live demo of that right now. So now you can see my screen, and here it's basically on the staging environment. So it's not yet live, but it will be live tomorrow. But as you can see, you will have a new section here, which is called the daily quest. And the daily quest, when you click on it, you will see this. So what do you see? It's a list of quests that you need to do every day. Every day it resets. So at midnight Central East time, all the quests get resetted and you can do them all over. The first quest here is to complete all the other daily quests, and by doing so, you will unlock a chest. This chest can contain pickies, but it can also contain NFTs, and that's where it gets really interesting. But before that, well, you need to play 4 solo or dual games. You need to play 6 duels, win 3 duels, and finish a duel with a minimum of 300 score. So those are the daily quests that we have put up today. These are the rewards that are put up today, but these can change over time. The quests can change, the rewards can change, and so on and so on. But the most important part is that by completing all the quests, you will always unlock a chest. So here I am claiming my pickies. So every day by doing those quests, you can be sure to claim those pickies. And when you open your chest that you will get after completing all the quests, you will get a reward randomly out of the chest. Here in this case, I won 25 pickies. You can see here that in the chest, you can win 15 pickies, 25, 50, 100, or 250 pickies, but you can also win some NFTs. And you will be able to see how many are left in the chest. So right off the bat, when we're going to release it tomorrow, we decided that the industrial collection, which was the last collection we launched back in July, we had to stop it because there was an issue with the minting process, but there were still a couple of them left. All of them were almost commons, but also two mythical pieces. So we decided to put all the NFTs that were left from the industrial collection into this chest for now, but know that we are working on a specific collection, which will be the chest, the daily chest collection, or however we're gonna call it. But it's gonna be a collection that you can only get by opening the chest. So we're currently designing it, working on it. We will share that with you guys. But it's really important to understand that there will be some NFTs that can only be won using the chest. So so that's super exciting. We are looking forward to see how fast people are lucky and get some NFTs out of the chest. But one thing is sure is that you will always get at least some pickies on top of doing all your quests. It's right now it's going to work just like this, but you can imagine that in the future, potentially the chest would become an NFT, and that you can resell the closed chest to someone who would want to open the chest and try their luck to get those special NFTs that are still inside the chest. We could also implement the fact that you need some cloud power. Cloud power is achieved by owning CryptoPick NFTs. So we could also implement the system that you need cloud power to open the chest, so that people really get incentivized to get the NFT so that they can open the chest. And someone who doesn't have the cloud power can simply play the game, gain some chests, and sell them to someone who wants to open them. So that is super exciting, the daily quests. And that is something you will all be able to start doing right after midnight today. So looking forward to your feedback. We're super excited about it. And I feel like it's going to be great. All right, let's go back to what we were looking right before that. So that is for the daily quests. Then we're going to implement pretty soon after that a voting system. It's like our DAO. So DAO is decentralized autonomous organization. We have always said that we've been building CryptoPick, listening to you guys and your feedback, and we think we need to empower it even more. So we're going to implement the first version of the DAO that is not completely decentralized. It's pretty centralized, but it's The goal is to have something that works smoothly and that you guys can participate in. So it will be a separate page where we can submit questions for the community. For example, do we implement the maximum amount of trades in the duels during the normal games? And then everyone can vote. You all need to have a CryptoPick account. So you need to be logged in with your CryptoPick account. And by voting, you will also be getting some Pickies as a reward. But for us, it's super important that we get a cool tool that we can use to ask your opinion on a lot of different things we want to develop. Because we've been using Google Forms, we've been using Twitter polls, but it makes way more sense to create our own tool in which you can participate with your CryptoPick account. And in a further stage, well, if you do own Pickies or CryptoPick NFTs, both of them will augment the weight of your vote. So the more you have of our NFTs and Pickies, the bigger your vote is going to be, and more important it's going to be compared to the whole community. This way, people who really participate a lot and have a big stake in the whole ecosystem of CryptoPick will get their advantage out of that in a way or another in the votes. All right, so that's for the voting that's coming up. Then, we've been talking about this for a while now. It's the whole NFT integration, meaning that playing duels will mostly be accessible for people if they have a certain cloud power, and the cloud power again is obtained by having some NFTs. So basically, what does this mean? You will still be able to play CryptoPick for free and do some basic stuff, but if you want to get the most out of it and earn the most possible, you will need to have some CryptoPick NFTs. It's important for everyone. It's important for us that the NFTs get some utility, but it's also important for people who got our NFTs that they get some use so that people want to buy them over from them. But at the same time, this is going to take a little bit of time because we want to not just integrate the NFTs, because imagine that if we integrate the NFTs tomorrow and someone doesn't have NFTs and cannot play the game and doesn't have the money to buy the NFTs to play the game, we don't want this to be an issue for people. So there's someone at the door right now, so give me a second. All right. So what I was saying is the whole NFT integration, and that we want to launch it together with a lending system, so that people who have NFTs can lend their NFTs out to people who don't have NFTs. So imagine you start playing CryptoPick, you don't have an NFT yet, and you want to play the game and get the most out of it. Well, you will simply be able to go to a page where you see all the NFTs that other people have put there and are available. So you will be able to use that and simply play the game. And from the Pickies that you will earn, a portion will go to the person that has lent you the NFT. So it's a way for people that have NFTs to create some passive revenue, and it's a way for everyone to start playing the game, which is really important. But all that will be implemented directly on the platform. So it's not like in Axie Infinity where you have to set up a scholarship with a manager and a scholar and give them the username and password for the account. Everything will be integrated in the platform, and it should be as easy as possible. All right, now also something really important we want to share with you guys. We are currently looking to raise funds. And this will be with a private sale. So the Picky token, we will look for investors who are ready to take some risk and invest in the future of the CryptoPick game studio. And this means that, it's super important for us, because if we manage to raise a lot of money, we will be able to onboard new team members and continue developing the project even faster. And we really feel like this is the correct moment to do so. We have a crazy cool community that is all of you, and we have some crazy ideas that we want to develop as fast as possible. And we want to make sure as well that the Picky, once it becomes a token, it's the best way possible. And this is going to take some time, it's going to take some money, it's going to take a lot of resources and people to make sure that the token, when it gets released, that there is a market that is active and that there is a utility for them, and that a lot of people want to get the token and the NFTs. And to make sure that it is the case, we are currently looking to raise funds with a private sales. And at the same time, we are going to apply for different acceleration programs. I'm talking about top tier acceleration programs in the crypto world. And the goal for that acceleration program is partially to prepare the public offering, meaning that after the private sales, we're also gonna make it possible for people to buy Pickies as a public offering. It will be a super small portion of the total amount of Pickies that will be available, as the most important thing for us is that most Pickies get earned by playing the game. But we do want to give the opportunity for some people to hop in using a public offering of the Pickies, also because it will guarantee more visibility to CryptoPick and its whole ecosystem. And for the people who are going to invest in an earlier stage, it's also important that there is a public offering. So those are two big things we're also working on, and which are super important for you guys to know, because it is super important for the future of the whole ecosystem we are building. All right, so that's what we are working on. We're working on a lot of different stuff, but that's the most important things we wanted to share right now. Now let's dive into the questions that you guys have submitted to us. So thank you all for submitting the questions. We have filtered them on topic like last time. If you still submitted a question in the last minutes, it will not be in the slide deck, but maybe we can try to answer them if you post them in the chat. All right, I will jump into the questions in a second. All right. Cool. So nice to have all of you here. All right, reminder before we jump into the questions, don't forget to put your CryptoPick username into the link, which is bit.ly/AMA, and then a little line giveaway, in the sense that when you put your name into this form, you will automatically get 100 Pickies, but you will also join a giveaway at the end of the stream where I will do a raffle and someone will get an NFT. All right, let's get into the questions. So all the first questions are linked to the Pickies, which is totally fair and normal. So Mickey is asking, when will Pickies become a token? Agwam Stefan is asking, when can we tokenize our Pickies? Malo, when will Picky turn token? It's almost end of January. And who's who, what steps are you taking now so that Pickies become a token? So like I explained right before, but it's super important, we did initially we wanted to launch the Picky token during Q1 of this year. So it means that it would have been between January and March. But seeing the whole process of raising funds and organizing a public sale, which are super important for making sure that once the token is launched, there is a lot of activity, a lot of liquidity on the token to make sure that the value, is stable, or at least isn't too volatile or doesn't keep going down. It means that we're gonna take the time necessary to do it correctly. We initially didn't want to raise funds or do a public offering, but by talking to a lot of really smart people, we did understand it was the best approach. So it's clearly what we're gonna do. And so when the exact timing I cannot say. Will it be before the end of March or in Q1 of this year? I'm pretty sure it will not be the case, but it will be a bit later. But it is for a reason, and it is super important, because you should all know that by raising funds and doing a public offering, the value of the Pickies will only be more valuable. I mean, it is important for the future of Pickies. It's important for us, but it's more important for you guys. We want to make sure that everything is done correctly, that when the Pickies get released, there is a market. There are a lot of people who own them. There are investors in it. A lot of people talk about Pickies around them. So that's what we plan to do. Doesn't mean that we're not gonna already put more use and focus on the NFTs in the meanwhile, but it just means that we want to do this step by step to make sure of the longevity of Pickies. So I think that answers all those questions. what's the yeah? All right. So other questions around Pickies is Mickey11 again with on which platform will Pickies be listed? What will the listing prices be? And Agbam Stefan again with how much will one Pickie be worth? Really good question, and it's impossible to answer it right now. What do I mean by this? There will be a price during the public offering. Once the public offering will be announced, we will announce the price, but I cannot say it yet today. And yeah, when the token is going to be listed is well, the market will decide about the price, but we should certainly hope that the price will be higher than the public offering, which is what we see a lot, and we're sure gonna make sure that it well, that we can manage to reach that. On which platform? Well, it's pretty simple today. You don't need to be listed on an exchange immediately. The most important is to be on a decentralized exchange, like a swapping protocol like Uniswap. And that's something we're going to make sure that is live from the day the Pickies are released. But it will more than probably be on QuickSwap because the odds are really big that our tokens are on Polygon. But we will make sure that once tokens become tokenizable, you will immediately be able to go to the decentralized exchange and exchange them there. We will also add a lot of incentives to provide for people who provide liquidity. So what I mean by that is if you stake, let's call it this way, your Pickies into the liquidity pool, you will be getting a lot of rewards. And so we want to make sure this way that there is a lot of liquidity on the decentralized exchanges, the swapping protocols, so that people can easily buy and sell Pickies. But yeah, so that's it will be listed on decentralized exchanges, and the price exactly will be decided for the public offering, but the real price at which they will be sold and at which price people will buy them once it goes live on the decentralized exchanges is something that the future will tell us and that we're super excited to see. Then we have me97, and I'm not gonna pronounce the rest of the numbers, asking what is your plan for the token economics and what is the use of the token in the game? That's a really good question. So first and foremost, it's important to understand as we are not just one game anymore, the game that most of you know, but that we're becoming a game studio creating different games, that the Pickies and the NFTs will have a use in all our games. So it will not only be used in the current game that you guys know, but it will be used in all the future games that we will develop. So the more games we have, the more players play our games, the more utility the tokens and the NFTs will get. And this is super important, and we believe this is a key of key importance for the future of the Pickies and the NFTs in our ecosystem, that they get a lot of value. But also important right of in the future is that well, the Pickies, you can earn them by playing our games, but you also need to be able to use them somewhere. And so there will be a blacksmith, the blacksmith of our ecosystem, where you have two processes. The first process is a welding process, which means that the NFTs that are currently issued today are separate pieces. So it's you have the pipe, the base, and the claw. These pieces have a limited amount of times that they exist. The common one exists 200 times, the rare 100 times, epic 50 times, legendary 10 times, and the mythical only exists once. So you have a limited amount of single pieces. And of course, in the future, imagine that we have more than 200,000 people who want to play our games, but you only have like 20,000 pieces. You have an issue if you need the NFTs to play the game. So it's important that it's possible to create new NFTs for the new people who want to play the game and need those NFTs. So what will happen is that you will be able to go with three separate pieces. For example, here you see on the bottom there are a lobster pipe, a bull base, and a green dragon claw. You can go to the blacksmith. You can pay. You will have to pay him. It's not that you can. You have to pay him in Pickies so that he will create a new NFT, which is a full claw, which are the three pieces together that you gave to the blacksmith. But it's important to understand that in this process, the three NFTs, which are single pieces, will disappear. So they will be burned. And then you will get a new NFT, which is the full claw. So the first process is welding. So it's basically taking 3 existing NFTs, paying Pickies to the blacksmith, and he will create you a new NFT, which is a full claw. The full claw will be needed for well specific things in the games, and will give you a lot of advantages. But what happens next? Because with only having a limited amount of pieces, you could only create a limited amount of full claws. But that is not the case because there is forging. So forging is basically the same as what you know as breeding in a lot of games. So you go to the blacksmith, and then you have to give him 2 full NFTs as an inspiration to create a new full NFT. So you will have to show him 2 NFTs that you own, full claws, and pay him Pickies, and he will, based on those 2 NFTs that you gave him, he will create a new NFT. You will not lose the 2 NFTs that you gave him as an inspiration, just like with breeding, but he will give you one new full NFT, full claw back in exchange. So this is super important. It's a breeding mechanism, but with a blacksmith, and it's a way for people also to earn money because they can, well, forge a lot of new NFTs, and the Pickies will become super important. So the blacksmith is the place where our NFTs and our Pickies merge together and become super important, because you will not be able to create new NFTs without paying the blacksmith Pickies, uh, and you will need the NFTs to play the game. From all the Pickies that are paid to the blacksmith, a portion will go back to the reward pool. The reward pool is the pool of Pickies that is being used to reward people who play our games. And from scratch, this is going to be the biggest um, pool of Pickies. I mean, there are going to be Pickies to incentivize people to add liquidity to the decentralized exchanges. There are going to be Pickies for the CryptoPick team, for the investors, for the public offering. But the portion that is foreseen for people who play the game and are rewarded in Pickies is going to be more than 50% for sure. And we think this is the most important. But we need to make sure that this reward pool gets filled back up, because if people win Pickies by playing the game, and at some point there are no more Pickies to give out to people who play it, well, our way to do so is that a big portion of what is being used at the blacksmith will go back to the reward pool. We do intend to have a max supply, so it's not like there will be no max supply of Pickies. That's super important as well. So there will be a max supply, and they will have a circular economy where Pickies will get back to the reward pool. But from the Pickies that are being used at the blacksmith, a portion could also be burned to reduce the amount of Pickies over time, and a portion of that could also be used to go back to the team so that they can also continue to develop the product. A portion of that could go to the DAO, and so on and so on. But so that's basically super important to understand, because that's where Pickies and NFTs come together, and it's a big portion of our token economics. But other than that, you got to know that the Pickies are earned by playing the game that you know today, the main game as I call it. But you will also be able to earn Pickies playing our other games, but you will also have utility to our NFTs and our Pickies in the other games that we create. So let's say, for example, Sandbox, we've created a game there where the challenge will be to finish the whole game the fastest possible without dying, with doing all the quests and so on and so on. Well, you will maybe need some NFTs so that you can play the game, but you could also be needing some Pickies so that you can start the game. And at the end of the game, there will be a chest where you will be able to win an NFT that you will be able to use again in the other games. All right, so I hope I answered that question. If you have another question around the token economics or a specific question, don't hesitate to come back to us in the chat or in our Discord in the question or in the support section. You will get a reply as fast as possible. Then concerning the games, Palparta is asking, as earlier told, for the eastern part of the world, new game can be started for suitable timing of the game. So is there any development of that? So I remember you asking, and it's a pretty sketchy question, but it's super important because right now all the days get reset at midnight Central East time, and as you've explained in the past, it does mean that some people who sleep at a certain time in the world have less time to build up their daily trading score for that day. We are still looking into finding a solution, but it's not easy. But we do plan on using the DAO, so the voting system that we're going to implement, and ask that question as one of the first questions: is midnight Central East time a good timing for everyone? Because I'm in the current game, it's pretty hard to set a time for a daily basis that works for everyone in the world, I think. But this doesn't mean that, I mean, it's like the Picky Cups. We do want to find the best possible time to organize the Picky Cups so that everyone can participate. We also want to find the best timing to play other games in general. And games like in the sandbox, for example, there is no timing system behind it. I mean, it doesn't get refreshed every midnight. There is just a timing that you take to play the game. So that's also important, is that the whole system with midnight Central East time refreshing the daily trading score is something specific to the duals reward system where you can earn Ethereum. But we think it's important that we develop other stuff where the timing is not of that importance. Then there is Nomas, who is asking, when will Battle Royale start? Really good question. So we think Battle Royale, we will release it in a not too far future. I'm talking about upcoming month, maybe months. And we're going to test it first during the Picky Cups, just like a lot of other features like the multiplier and like the maximum amount of trades. We're gonna do some variants of the Picky Cup, where today is just a battle. In the future, we will probably do a Picky Cup where it's under a battle royale form, and then seeing how it evolves, we will potentially implement it as a new game mode if we get enough players to play it. Other questions. We have XDearX. Please make a tutorial on how does CPR actually work. You can find that information in our in our FAQ, so frequently asked questions. But basically, it's a skill rating system like the Elo system in chess. And everyone starts with 1,000, and based on the output of your duel and the CPR of your opponent, you will win or lose CPR. Well, if you win the game, you will always win CPR, and if you lose the game, you will always lose CPR. But the amount of CPR that you win or lose is based on the CPR of your opponent. As if you play against someone with a high CPR, their skill level should be higher as yours, and if you win, you will gain a lot of CPR. But if you lose against someone with a lot of CPR, you will lose less CPR. The same goes the other way. So if someone with high CPR plays against a player with low CPR, they will lose way more CPR than what they would win against that player, because that's how it works. Now, you got to know that CPR is intended over time to also be used in our matchmaking system, meaning that right now there are not enough people who are playing actively, so we just match people who are online against each other. But the goal is that in the future you will be matched against someone with a CPR that is as close as possible to your own CPR. But yeah, so that's important to understand. Arash Toto, how can I transfer tokens to wallet? I'm not 100% sure I understand your question, but if you mean by token the NFTs, well, you need to link a wallet by going to your settings, and then you can tokenize those NFTs, and they will automatically be minted on your wallet. So it means that the NFTs will be on your wallet already, and once they are on your wallet, you can transfer them the way you prefer. You will need some Polygon on your wallet, as our NFTs are on Polygon. I hope that answered your question. And if your question was intended to the Ethereum, well, you can simply click on your Ethereum balance and you will see that you can withdraw those. So that's also concerning the transfer of a token on our platform. IAZA 2, we want to buy other currencies like Litecoin and Bitcoin on our accounts. I'm not 100% sure by what you mean, in the sense that you cannot buy any currency like Ethereum here. You can only win it. So if you mean that you want to win something else than Ethereum, it's not something that we will implement immediately, because I think by the time that we will implement it, we will probably have tokenized the Pickies. And I think the main reward of the game will become Pickies everywhere, and they will be a token, so you will be able to exchange them and sell them outside of our platform. And if you meant to say that you want to play games on something else than Bitcoin, like Litecoin, games with other currencies is also something we're working on, and that's gonna come out soon. Then we have Omi Dabs. What time does the price increase in CryptoPick? Also not sure about the question, because if your question is when does the price go up on the chart during the games, that's something I don't have an answer to. Otherwise, I would be really rich. But if you mean at what time does the daily trading score settle, it's at midnight Central East time. But yeah, if you see this, don't hesitate to clarify your question in the chat or in our Discord, and we will make sure to answer it. Then we have Palparta 2003 again with please implement for earning account statement of Ethereum and Pickies as a report that how I earn can be seen. That's actually a super interesting suggestion. It's true that if I'm not mistaken, right now you cannot simply see how many Pickies and how many Ethereum you have won by playing CryptoPick. So it's something we could add into your stats or into your settings, where you can click and create a statement of how many Ethereum and Pickies you've won so far. So yeah, it's something we're gonna add on our to-do list. Thank you for submitting that suggestion. It's really interesting. All right. Then we have Phoenix92. What plans do you want for more audience in the future? Well, by raising funds and growing the team, onboarding also a lot of people for the communication and marketing, we do have big plans on reaching more and more people. We're gonna reach more people by doing some live events, by doing marketing, by doing a lot of things, but also just in general doing a token sale that is available for everyone. So a public offering of the token should also be attracting a lot of people. But just in general, we're gonna raise money to onboard people who are gonna do that even better than what we do today. Simply because, yeah, we've been doing a good job at it, but clearly people could do it even better. So we're super excited to onboard new team members who will do this like crazy. All right, so that were all the questions that were submitted up front. So thank you for that. All right. Now I will look into the questions that were submitted using the chat. Also, I'm seeing that Abel Dosky still submitted a question through the forum, so I'm still seeing that. It's when the CryptoPick market is launched, will trading be decentralized like OpenSea, or will it be like Venly? So our NFTs right now are mostly traded on Venly, but OpenSea should come soon. But there is a bug with our smart contract on OpenSea, and they are looking into it together with the Polygon team. So we're gonna make sure that that starts again. And if your question is based on the Pickies, well, like I said before, it will be on a decentralized exchange, so it will be completely decentralized. And once it goes live, the market will totally do the trading and the volatility and the liquidity and all of that. Then I'm seeing that Amin is also asking a question through the form, which is marketing and partnerships are really crucial to any project because it reinforces a spread the incredibility of that project. Can you list several well-known partners? What will you execute to keep long-term holders as well as investors? How will you solve problems with frequent hacks on smart contracts? Do you have a plan? What preparations have you made to avoid hacks or bugs? Will CryptoPick have any audit in the future? Super good questions. So first and foremost, with the marketing and partnerships, we do know it's super important. In the past, we have set up some partnerships which are gonna become even more important in the future. So there is Venly, with whom we developed the whole NFTs and their marketplace access, and we do plan to keep on working with them as they have grown over time. We have a partnership with Polygon, and it's even going to become bigger with our token being created on Polygon. And Polygon is not a small actor in the space. We have a partnership with the Blockchain Game Alliance, which is basically giving us access to all the biggest players in the NFT gaming and blockchain gaming space. So we've already had a lot of interesting contacts using that. But we also have a partnership with the Sandbox, as we have a lot of land there, and we do plan to create a lot of content there. And then by joining the acceleration programs that I've talked about earlier, one of the goals is to also spread those partners and have more and more big partners, because it is super important, like you've said. And then what will you execute to keep the long-term holders as well as investors? Well, by creating more and more games, more partnerships, the utility of the tokens and NFTs should become bigger and bigger. So the demand should go higher and higher. But also the long-term holders and investors will be able to stake their Pickies more than probable. So by holding your Pickies for the long term and staking them, you will be able to create passive revenue. The investors that will take the risk at the beginning during the private sales will also have a locking period, so they will not be able to sell their tokens immediately, because we don't want them to sell all the tokens immediately and drop the price. But yeah, so those are a couple of things concerning the smart contract hacks. So we do not plan on building the smart contracts ourselves. We do plan to do that through some specialized companies and partners with whom we can create the token and the smart contract for the token, just like we've done with the NFTs. So that's our plan. But yeah, if there is a problem, we will find a solution. I mean, I will not say any name, but I know a couple of really big projects that are in the top 100 that did have some issues with their smart contract, and they managed to find a solution. I'm not saying that everything is easy to solve and that it's not an important thing, but I'm just saying that we will take the services of one of the best providers for this in the world, and if anything happens, we will find a solution. And then to avoid hacks and bugs in general, we do have some white hat hackers that have been trying to hack a lot of things on our website, and they managed to do a couple of things. We managed to keep it as it doesn't have a lot of impact on the whole platform, and we do reward them with bounties. Now it's having people who find bugs and hacks, have them be part of the community and report them to us so that we can reward them. Will CryptoPick have any audits in the future? I sure think we will have some audits in the future. I think it's super important for everyone, so we will do that. And then we have Emmy talking about the token economics, but I've answered that. All right, I will go back to the chat. I'm also gonna take this opportunity to thank Ramon Fragoza for the amazing articles he has written in Spanish. So thank you for that, and also in English. Then we have Aaron Rodriguez. How are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling pretty well. Thank you for asking, my friend. I did have the COVID, and I was really bad about it. It took me, I think, 2 weeks to really recover. I was really out, but I'm feeling way better, and I think everything will be fine. So thank you for asking. Another question from you is, if I forget a new cloud to power, every part will have their own power and they will combine. Yeah, so right now every piece gives you cloud power, but it's possible that that cloud power in the future, when we release the Blacksmith, that it will give a bit less cloud power, and that the cloud power of the three pieces combined will well definitely give you more cloud power. So if you take three pieces with one cloud power, it will not give you one big cloud with three cloud power, but it will probably give you a cloud with like 5 cloud power or even more. So not only that, but there will be specific things where you will be needing a full cloud and not just some pieces. But we will see how that evolves over time. All right. I'm gonna check if there are any other question. All right. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Thank you for your participation. I see Aaron suggesting to pair the Pickies with USDT. I think that will be hard to do. I mean, as we're not creating a stable coin. Of course, a stable coin, their goal and objective is to be a fixed value so that it is always worth $1. But that is not the case for Pickies. I think it will be hard to project that. But thank you for the idea. Um, I see Aaron also talking about the two-factor authenticator. It is important to activate it on your account. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it secures your account a lot. Right. All right, cool. Well, I think those are all the questions. If you have still a question, you can submit it in the chat. I will see it and I will put it forward. But in the meantime, I think we can go and play the little draft for the people who submitted their name in the form. So let's dive into that. I hope you're all ready and that the lucky winner is happy as well. Let's start the wheel. So we have 21 participants that were here live. All of you will get 100 pickies, but one of you will get an NFT. And we are playing for an epic NFT from the Christmas collection. So good luck. Let's go. And the winner is Banpal. Congratulations, my friend. And you will be getting that NFT really soon. We also still need to put the NFTs from the Picky Cup from a couple of days ago, but those will come on your account pretty soon. All right, great. Thank you all for being here. And this is gonna be the end of the Ask Me Anything. And if you have any other questions, you can submit them for next time using the form that is shared everywhere. But if you don't want to wait for next Ask Me Anything, just ask your questions in our Discord channel or in our in-game chat. The faster reply comes from the Discord, so I would all like to invite you to our Discord, but you can also submit them in the in-game chat. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Have a great evening and see you next time. Peace.